Mom got arrested. A couple of weeks ago I wrote a post because my mom was harassing my sister Pam. This was because my sister finally cut off my mom and refused to give her money. So quick TLDR is my mom told Pam a gigantic and stupid, easily debunked lie to guilt Pam into sending her money. The lie caused a bit of drama with me and my sister, but we worked it out because, again, it was a very stupid lie. After the truth came out, Pam finally went in see with Mom, just like I had done a while ago. Mom started harassing Pam, and even after Pam had blocked her number, Mom would find ways to contact her. She even showed up at the house Pam shares with her roommates. The police were absolutely useless and told Pam, and then myself, that there was nothing they could do until Mom threatened violence or became violent. The officer I talked to on the phone actually laughed when I mentioned getting a TRO. It was just a f***ing nightmare. So I took some advice from here and got Pam to change her number, and things kinda quieted down. That's when Mom started leaving letters in Pam's mailbox, just drunken ramblings, and so we called the police again, specifically after the third one. The officer they sent out was incredibly rude and told my sister, and I f***ing quote, "If I had a daughter like you, I'd also be driven to drink." Before anyone asks, yes, we put in a complaint. No, nothing happened. After that, my husband and I sat down, worked out some bills, and contacted a lawyer. We don't know any personally, but I did have a coworker who got divorced last year, so I asked him for the number to the family law practice he hired. $150-ish later, I was able to send Mom an official quit your SHD letter. And for the past 3 days, everything has been blissfully quiet. Then earlier tonight, which I guess technically is this morning, Sarah, my sister's best friend, called because Pam was too shaken up to talk. The police were at Sarah's house, and my mom had been arrested. My husband and I hurried over, and by the time we got there, the police had already left with Mom. Pam was still crying and having a panic attack. Sarah and Heather were trying to calm her down. I'm just so f***ing angry thinking about it. The last time I saw Pam crying like that was when she had found out she was failing biology in 9th grade. She's a perfectionist, you know? I love her to death, but she's so scared of failing. I had come over, and she was just sobbing over a stack of papers and miserable, and I don't know. I told myself she'd never cry again like that, but she did, and it was because of our mom, and I didn't stop it. Because Pam was too upset to talk, Sarah told us that they had been getting ready to go out for a late movie when my mom showed up. At first, Pam told her to just go home. Then Mom started screaming at her, and Pam sort of froze, and that's when Heather got involved and told my mom that she was going to call the police if she didn't leave. That seemed to work at first, and from what Sarah said, Mom kind of just wandered off down the street. Pam was shaken up, but it seemed to be over. Then they heard a loud crunching sort of noise from outside, and they looked, and Mom had driven over the neighbor's mailbox, which, to be honest, I didn't notice when I pulled up, but it was flattened. Heather immediately called the police, but I guess so had the neighbors. Then Sarah called us. The police came. Mom refused to do a sobriety test, and they hauled her off. The worst part is, I'm not entirely sure they would have actually arrested her if the neighbors hadn't called too. It's kind of a quiet neighborhood, and the people directly next door seem to be in their 50s or so. Sarah said the husband came out to put in the complaint about the mailbox, and the police talked to them more than they talked to Pam, who was actually getting harassed. Because Pam was so shaken up, we brought her home with us. She thankfully passed out almost immediately, and then my husband fell asleep, but I can't sleep. I'm so angry. Mom could have hurt someone, and the police have done absolutely nothing up to this point. I'm sure we'll have more options now that she's been arrested. Maybe we can even get a restraining order, but if they had just listened to me weeks ago when Mom first started harassing Pam, none of this might have happened tonight. Now update. I was pretty busy this weekend and didn't get to respond to any comments, so I thought I would respond to all of them and give a quick update. Contact the Postal Service about the letters. I have tried. The girl at the local office had no idea what I was talking about, but she sounded kind of young. I think I'll try calling back tomorrow and see if I get someone else. But thank you for the idea. Googling did not get me anywhere. The complaints page, kinda SCKS. A lot of information on fraud, less on harassing people. Get a doorbell cam. We have one. Or rather, the house that my sister was staying in had one. We have tons of footage of Mom being drunk and belligerent, but again, not actually threatening, so the police shrug and say, "Oh well, she's not there right now, is she?" Actual quote, "Contact City Council about the police issue. That is on our to-do list after we get things settled down." That will probably be several months out, though. To the attorney who said contact the DA, I have told Pam to do this. Because I'm not the one seeking out the restraining order, I have a feeling it would be more impactful if Pam did it. However, I have told Pam that I will go with her to talk to the DA. Right now I think she's still overwhelmed and just wants to settle in. Which leads me to our update. Pam has moved in with my husband and I. The moment my husband woke up after that awful night, he brought it up to me, which is why I love him. I wanted to bring it up to him, but we only have one small extra room and we've been using it as an office/game room for his board games, so I was afraid that he'd feel cramped. We brought it up to Pam, and she seemed relieved. Her roommates are really nice girls, but again, they didn't sign up for this, and I think we can all tell they're tired of Mom's mess. So Sunday we moved her important stuff over, and she's going to be staying here. Her bed and bigger things are still at the house, but she doesn't have to move it until September when her lease ends. She's having to sleep on a crappy pull-out couch, but I think she feels safer at the very least. Granted, she's upset because she had to quit her job, but I told her she can help around the house and we'll take care of her rent at the other house. I wouldn't have even brought up the helping around the house, but she heard me tell Ryan I'm going to have to put in a few more hours to cover the rent next month, and she started spiraling about being a burden, which she is not. I'd work 80 hours a week if she's safe and happy. I don't care. As for Mom, Judge saw her this morning and bail was set. I think she's already paid and is waiting to get out, but I don't know for sure. Everything I hear about it is secondhand through friends of friends. I think our godmother bailed her out because I got a nasty email from her about letting Mom sit in jail. I'm not even entirely sure what she's been charged with. Honestly, I don't care. As long as she leaves us alone, I don't care. So that's it. Not very exciting, but that's actually a good thing. Sarah has been here almost every day to check on Pam. She brought her muffins this morning, and it was good to see Pam smile. This has been so stressful for her. Hopefully in the next few weeks things will completely calm down and she'll get some much-needed rest.